Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 6 things that we learned from Bradford City 1, Accrington Stanley 0. If you do go on to enjoy today's episode, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try to 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in on the 6 things that I do go on to discuss in today's video down in the comment section down below. Now, there is no Frank with me this week. There is no Corbin as well. It is very rare that I'm on my own for one of these episodes, but I am for this week. Hopefully, at least one of them will be back for the midweek episode away at Forest Green Rovers. But let's waste no further time and get straight into box number 1. Now, this episode is going to end up being quite a positive one, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But starting out then with box number 1 is a green box for Kieran Kelly. I would probably go as far to say that was his best performance so far in a Bradford City shirt. I think I've been less than convinced with him so far. His first start in a long time, to be fair. Alexander's given him that opportunity in the league anyway, and he definitely took it. He was absolutely outstanding defensively, so solid. There were a couple early clumsy fouls from Kelly, but apart from that, I thought overall he was very good, especially in that second half, constantly winning a lot in the air. And for someone who, he's not the tallest, he's 6'2", 6'3", he's not exactly like he's a man mountain. When their striker is, what is he, 6'4", 6'5", something like that. It wasn't an easy battle for all of our centre-halves, and I do have to give him credit from that point of view, but I thought Kelly got a number of good blocks in, good tackles. There were a few times where he got some really good recovery tackles in there as well, and I thought overall a really good game from Kieran Kelly. On the ball as well, quite assured with his decision making. He gets the assist as well from Tyler Smith, and I think we have to give that credit towards Graham Alexander, because under Mike Hughes, Kelly would have probably played a 15-yard sideways pass or a 25 yards backwards past Harry Lewis, but Alexander's given them the freedom to play forward, play direct. Kelly does that. He gets the assist. So obviously, we'll get on to both Smith and Alexander later on in the video, but I thought overall for me, Kieran Kelly with a really good performance. Probably my man of the match as well, to be fair. I was surprised to see how well he played. I wouldn't say I was really surprised to see him in the starting 11, but I thought he's definitely taken his opportunity, and from what I saw of him, I think there's absolutely no reason why he should be dropped come Tuesday night, because I thought he was really good against Accrington Stanley, and that is why we're going to start today's episode then with a green box. Moving on then to box number 2, it is another green box, this time for Alex Gilliard. Now, I believe he got the social media man of the match, and I think he also got the sponsors man of the match as well, and I thought it was a really good game again from Alex Gilliard. This was a box that could have gone to a number of players. I don't really think many players really stood out, but Gilliard, I think, again, had a really solid game, was crucial to us in that midfield. Now, me personally, before the game, I was looking at him thinking maybe he could play left wing back, but he played in the centre of midfield, and he gave us another really solid performance. We've got to give him a lot of credit, because like what I've mentioned a few times now, at the start of the season when I saw he'd renewed his contract with the football club, I must admit I was less than impressed, but he's definitely won me over so far this season. I think he's been excellent, and while he didn't contribute much in terms of goals and assists on Saturday, I personally feel like his off the ball work rate and the stuff that sometimes can go unnoticed was there to see once again from Alex Gilliard. A really good performance from him in the centre of midfield, and I certainly think in this new formation with Smould as the holding midfielder and then Gilliard and Walker slightly more advanced, I think that could certainly work well when you're mixing in players like Adore, Chapman, who impressed massively in the AFL Trophy. We've got a number of very good players who can play in that position, but Gilliard for me is one of the first names on the team sheet at this moment in time. I thought he was really impressive, and again, that is why he gets yet another green box for me, because I thought he was absolutely outstanding yesterday. Moving on then to box number 3, the only non-green box of today's video. This one is a yellow box for Ash Taylor. Now, I've seen him come in for a lot of credit on social media, and I'm slightly unsure why, because I thought defensively, first half he was poor. He lost quite a lot in the air, considering that is his main strength and why he is in the team. I don't have the statistics, but I think he only won like 13 of his duels all game out of about 40, so really poor from Ash Taylor in terms of that point of view. So it turns out I've got these stats completely wrong. He actually won 7 out of 11 of his aerial duels. It was 13 out of 34 successful passes that he completed. My apologies, Ash. Second half, I thought defensively he was pretty solid. There were a number of times where he made some good interceptions or tackles. I must admit I was surprised to see him still in the starting 11 and seeing Sam Stubbs dropped. I was a little bit confused by that, but Taylor for me got bullied a little bit in that first half. Second half, I thought he certainly improved a lot, but again, it's the same problems with Ash Taylor. While he wasn't too bad defensively, on the ball, he's so poor, and while he every now and again he doesn't do too bad with a nice channel ball, and it gives us something to run on, so while they're not necessarily too accurate, it gives you some, opportunity to get out and get some yards up the pitch, but there are a number of times where his passes were just poor and they went into no man's land. At the end of the first half, he nearly basically gave Accrington a goal. Brilliant save from Harry Lewis. We're not going to go on to speak about Harry Lewis in today's video, but I thought he actually yesterday had one of his better games recently, made 2 or 3 really good saves, probably saves you'd expect him to make. The one-on-one save was a pretty decent save, but I don't think the finish was too much to write home about. But Taylor, for me, I might be being a little bit harsh, but I thought defensively he could have certainly done a lot better, especially in that first half. Second half, I don't think he was too bad, but on the ball again, his passing and his ability to control the ball is maybe the reason why he's in the centre of the back three, but I certainly think we've got better defenders than Ash Taylor. I can understand why he was picked, because obviously they had a big physical striker and maybe you play Taylor to try and match him up with him, but it didn't really work like that, especially in the first half, and that is why unfortunately I've had to go with the yellow box for Ash Taylor. Moving on then to box number 4. This time we're going with another green box, but on this occasion we are going for Lewis Richards. Now, I feel like since he's come back into the side, he's got better and better as each game has come by. Obviously, his first 45 minutes against Notts County was awful. He got absolutely torn apart. Second half, I thought he improved a little bit. On Tuesday night in the AFL Trophy, grabbed his first goal for the football club. And then yesterday against Accrington, really impressive from Lewis Richards. Solid defensively, really good defensively. And going forward, had some really nice link-up play with Walker, with Gilead, even with Andy Cook. There were a couple of times where there was a slight miscommunication, but I thought overall, Lewis Richards had a really good performance. It's great to see him finally getting back to what we saw from him earlier on in the season. Obviously, Ricardo came back in for a little bit. Now Richards is back in the team. I don't know specifically what the protocol is with Liam Ricardo. I don't know where specifically when he's going to be back in the team, but for now, I think Lewis Richards is doing a very good job, especially over the last 2 matches, and let's see him continue that way. I think he's a very unique player, especially for his position. You don't really see many wing backs who are as physical and as strong as Lewis Richards. It's very rare that he gets knocked off the ball, and his running style is very... I don't really know what the right word is, but he sometimes runs like he's stuck in mud, but he makes up yardage and he makes up ground so fast, and I think he's a very good dribbler. There were an occasion in the first half where he picked up the ball, went past like 2 or 3 players, and then he's touched slightly, did let him down, but I thought he linked up really well with Gilead in that first half, and overall for me, had a really impressive performance. It's nice to see him get a full game under his belt as well, because him and Kelly, they seem to have some sort of, I don't know what the issue is, but they really struggled to complete 90 minutes. Obviously, Kieran Kelly failed to complete the 90 in the end. I don't know if it's cramp or what the situation is there, and obviously they haven't played too much this season. They have been in and out of the team, and I don't think that will necessarily help. But Lewis Richards, for me, I thought was pretty impressive yesterday. Let me know down in the comment section down below, if Richards and Ricardo were both fit, who would you be starting? Or even, because we're playing the back 3, would you probably put Gilead at left wing back as well? For now though, based on what I saw against Accrington, I think Lewis Richards has certainly made that spot his own for Tuesday night, and it has to be another green box for him in my opinion. Moving on then to our penultimate box. This time it is another green box, but for Tyler Smith. Finally, we've got another striker who can score goals. Andy Cook's goals may have potentially dried up a little bit, but Tyler Smith, I think he's got 6 in his last 6, 7 in all competitions for him now so far this season. He's second in the league, and an absolutely brilliant finish. The long ball comes forward from Kieran Kelly. Andy Cook, I don't think he actually gets a touch on it, but his physical presence is enough to put the defender off. Tyler Smith, it sneaks in behind. Brilliant lob finish, controlled on the weak foot to finish past a very good goalkeeper in John McCracken, and it's just nice to have a striker who's able to score goals that isn't Andy Cook. We've finally got the players around Cook who can take the pressure off of Andy Cook, but now Andy Cook stopped scoring, so we could have kind of done with Cook's form last year into this season, and we might be somewhere a little bit better off. But I thought his overall performance wasn't awful, but it was kind of hard for him to get in the game because of how big and physical that Accrington were. Obviously, he did end up getting subbed off, I think, for Harry Chapman, who didn't really affect the game all too much. I don't think there was a game really for Harry Chapman because of how physical that the game was. Chapman's much more of a technical player, and I don't think that was the right substitution from Alexander, but obviously, you know, he's a very good player, is Chapman, lots of quality in there, but I certainly don't think it was the right game for him. Smith, though, all I can really say is credit to him, because it's a really good finish. It's brilliant striker's instinctive play. When you've not really had much to do all game, not really much service, it would be very easy for him just to switch off and maybe not try and gamble on that second ball. He does it brilliantly though, finishes very nicely, and while a lot of his goals recently have been in the AFL Trophy and maybe potentially against slightly less quality of opposition. A goal is a goal at the end of the day, and to have 6 in your last 6, 7 in all competitions, I think Cook's on 8 in all competitions now, so it's nice to have both of our main strikers fit and firing. Obviously Viden Oliver recently returning from injury as well, and it's just nice to see us really building up some of our better players who were here for the long term, because I must admit at the start of the season I was really concerned by the length of contract that we gave Tyler Smith, because I don't think he'd really done enough to warrant a 3-year deal, but recently he has certainly been returning. We're now reaping the reward of giving him that long-term contract, and I hope that it does continue, because Smith, he's now proven it. He can score goals at this level, which is obviously great to see. It's not really something he's done throughout his career so far, so fingers crossed he can continue it. Fingers crossed he can continue scoring goals in the league as well, and hopefully can bag a couple more on Tuesday night. But has to be a green box for Tyler Smith. He's gone on to score the match winner. We've kept a clean sheet in the game, and he has to get a green box for scoring the winner alone. Moving on then to our 6th and final box of today's video is another green box, this time for Graham Alexander, his first green box as Bradford City manager on the 6 Things That We Learned series. It's been very rare we've given a green box out for the managers so far this season, but it is nice for Alexander to finally get his first. I thought he got his tactics spot on. I was really surprised to see how poor we made Accrington look. I don't know if they just didn't show up on the day or because we played really well, and while I don't think we created loads of chances, we got the job done. And football is a results-based business. You've got to get the results. You've got to get the job done. And Alexander set up his team to do that. At the end of the day, we've got the job done. And I never really felt threatened by Accrington. I thought the way we set up and how we defended and how well we defended and the shape and the organisation was very well executed from Graham Alexander. I would have liked to have seen maybe a substitution or two a little bit earlier. Now, while I was thinking about what subs we could potentially make, I was looking at them and thinking, well, I don't really know who to bring off, but I just felt like we needed some fresh legs, a bit of energy in there, and could have maybe gone on and got a second goal, but I'm maybe being a little bit too picky there. We've got the job done. It's the first 3 points for Graham Alexander. That's the hardest thing to do, is get your first league win out of the way. Obviously, the win on Tuesday night will have boosted the confidence, and now our first league win as well will be absolutely massive. We travel to either bottom or second bottom Forest Green Rovers on Tuesday night. I personally won't be there, but the match preview will be out tomorrow. Not really sure specifically what time, but the match preview will be out then, so make sure to stay tuned for that, and fingers crossed we can pick up another 3 points in that one. But great win, great to be giving out 6 green boxes as well and just the 1 yellow box. But thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in on the 6 things that I did discuss in today's video. Kieran Kelly, Alex Gilliard, Ash Taylor, Lewis Richards, Tyler Smith, and also Graham Alexander as well. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully Frank or Corbin will be back as well for Wednesday's episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Peace.